What's up, guys? So over the past like 5, 6 years, I've been really consumed with the question why. Asking why about a lot of different things. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like that? Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? Am I reacting? Am I, being self-aware and intentional? Am I being gracious with myself? Am I being too overly critical? Am I seeing things the right way? Am I deluded? Um, I think because I've been so inconsistent with this YouTube channel, I think I just did it because I have wisdom that I want to share and a message that I want to share specifically to, my age group, mid 20s, anywhere from like 15 years old to 35 years old male, um, just to help, you know, share my perspective and hopefully it can inspire you to do the same, self work that I've done for myself if you already haven't. Um, and my why, for like I said, that's kind of my why is to inspire you and whoever you share this video with, to inspire you to seek and dive deeper into yourself and deeper into the layers of this existence as a human, because I'm assuming, you're not any type of animal, you're not like a tree, and you're watching this, you're a human. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. Um, and that's why in a lot of cases, they say you can't ever really understand God's plan, but you can try and you can, be persistent and like I said, just keep asking why and the answers will start falling in your place. I think, a big, foundation of, my coping skills have involved, particular mantras that I've spoken about in previous videos, as well as some literature like The Wisdom of James Allen, um, The Four Agreements, Where There Is Light by Siddhartha Yogananda. Um, what else? Yeah, the Joe Dispenza has some pretty good stuff about manifestation, uh, the law of the power of attraction. I did a lot of that stuff, researched a lot of that stuff for like about 6 months back in 2020, 2021, whenever I was really diving, really passionate about a lot of this stuff. Wasn't on any I wasn't on any self-medication at the time. I was extremely healthy. That was probably the most, you know, best time of my life. And, I didn't have my phone. I didn't have, like didn't have any, self-medication, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no vapes, no weed, no, kratom, no any um self-medication, just, small amount of psychiatric meds. And it was, I was eating healthy, completely vegan, had a lot of really good friendships, was on a great, sleep and wake cycle, was playing basketball pretty much every day or every other day. But I really was diving deep into, and I think more schools are going to be like this, where um, you kind of have time to research and do things that interest you. Um, but yeah, that's where I read. Oh, First Read Madness, which is a good book about um, influential figures in the past who struggle with their mental health, which some include JFK, Abe Lincoln, I'm not surprised, but Hitler, um, influential in an obviously negative way. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was, really thriving. Had, like I said, made a lot of really close relationships. Did I mess up during that time? And I had, episode. Yeah, of course, but that's gonna happen, and you can't dwell on those times. Just got to try to learn from them and move forward. And this kind of brings me up to and the more I talk about how well I was doing then, I kind of want to try to re-implement that, but it's just harder because they had people that were, cooking for us. They had people that were, driving us from A to B, and we were on a tight schedule. And that I think everyone really needs, especially when you're younger, you need that to help your mind, stay in check. Especially nowadays, with the phone and whatever, you can spend a whole day in your bed doing nothing. Um, and I was going to sleep at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock latest, getting up at like 7, it's like 6, 5:36 to work out and then meditate. With my knees currently, I can't really run like I was doing then, but I can most certainly walk and do a little meditation before the day starts, get ahead of the day instead of getting behind the 8 ball and getting being more reactionary in terms of what I want to do and how I want to handle myself on a given daily basis. And for myself, I've really, I want to be gracious. I want to be I'm pretty sure risk averse means you are intending on taking on risk. Um, just have that attitude of I want to have a good time all the time. In the Outer Banks, a lot of these things that I'm talking about were, intentionally created in these self-help books, but there's some I can never understand fiction and nonfiction. Uh, but whatever one is like not actually like fantasy kind of. If you're familiar with Outer Banks on like Netflix, um, one of the things they say is our mission this summer is to have a good time all the time. That's my mission. I want to try to be super grateful and super appreciative all the time. And I know for myself, I've not always been like that, specifically over the past couple of years. And I want to make sure I want to change myself and I want to be more energetic. I want to be more just generally positive, internally and externally. Um, and yeah, just help enjoy myself, learn, be a student of life, be a student of other people, respect my elders. Um, and yeah, just, maybe try to eat a little bit healthier and just keep, trying to be interested in things and try to find ways to better myself. Um, and my why, like I said, I'm going to use this kind of like a journal as well as like kind of like a what have I learned? What can you learn from what I've learned, if that makes sense? Um, but I have this idea of creating this journal where it has 3 sections. One, half the page on like one, small little journal. I don't have any like reference, like a little bigger than this, like probably about a little bigger than the size of your face. Um, one half is dedicated to your schedule. As you move down the day, you can cross it off or check them off, whatever you prefer. And then on the right would be, so that'd be on the left. On the right would be, these are all, you fill them out. There's nothing, it just says the title would be things you did well during the day. This is at the end of the day reflection, things you did well, and things you wish things you can do tomorrow to better yourself, things you wish you would have done differently and how, you would do so. So I think it's important, constructive criticism is important. Being able to critique yourself without blowing things out of proportion is, it's a skill. And yeah, I mean, lots going on, lots to talk about, but that's pretty much everything. I'm gonna post this tomorrow morning, and like I said, hopefully post at least once a week, if not more. And yeah, much love, guys. Thank you, Zoom, and thank you guys for watching.